had a lot of lunations this summer that have been very hot and fraught, and eclipses, and I've been writing a lot of the word challenging, but this particular new moon I see it as being creative refreshment and really inviting us to remember to play. And to Wendy's point, when we were talking a little earlier, it's a lot of people have gotten very insular or fearful, and I really see this lunar opening as saying, are you playing enough? Do you have enough of the childlike trust that brings us to the curiosity and potential of where we are at this highly pivotal point in time, when I believe we can basically break free of preconceptions and move into basically a new reality. When you think about a child who's being given love and confidence and hugs and food, all the things every child deserves, that child is wide-eyed and curious to embrace everything that the grown-ups might say, oh, this is kind of scary, or what's happening now? And I think that's where we are right now, being jazzed by the Mars in Aries, which is in what we call the shadow of the retrograde, because Mars goes retrograde September 9th. And my feeling about this lunar energy is, how do you want to open up to true courage? Because Leo is about courage, and Leo is also about the heart and the spine and the back. Do you have your own back? How do we collapse ourselves energetically so that we don't open up to potential? And anybody who's done breath work or working in ways about how do we invite in the positive knows that if we hunch down and lower down, and what are we doing all the time these days as we have this invitation to Instagram, we're looking at our devices and lowering, compressing our spine. So definitely use tonight when I have to look at my calendar. I think it's exact Eastern time, 10:24 or something like that tonight. But we're in dark of moon periods. So invite in that full potential from higher self, star energy. We're all stardust, and bring it down in and open up courage to the love, because it takes a risk to love. It takes a gamble to love. And yet that's the only way we really have that fire of creativity in loving others, and of course, always back to self-love. So enjoy the fire.
Ooh. Well, thank you, Pamela.
Yeah.
And
I'll thank the higher powers. I'm just reading it.
right, and Bonnie, thank you. You showed up, honey, huh?
Beverly got on. It says Bonnie, but that's Beverly. Her daughter is Bonnie.
That's right,
Bonnie.
Beverly.
She's co-opted somebody's laptop.
Yeah, she co-opted my desktop, and I can't, every time I got to change my name now.
There, now you're Beverly.
Yeah. Sorry I missed your reading, Pamela. I've been struggling to get in.
Well,
all right.
It's okay.
We'll figure it out. So Beverly, you want to give a little 25 words or less as to what you do?
Sure. I'm a stress management specialist who is trying to find herself because she's had so much stress that life isn't working. But I'm in the process of reinventing myself, and I'm getting recertified in Reiki this weekend. So we'll see where I go from there.
Wonderful. Thanks. All right.
So good.
So I'm going to ask everyone to, I just wanted to give a couple of information that in September we have Julianne Ryan, who's going to help us to learn how to create stories from the healing practices that we're in and the clients that we have, how to tell those stories of what we're getting out of it. In October, Grisela Ramos is going to be talking about Akashic Records, and I've had a reading from her, and I'm really very, very impressed. In November, Joan Cara is going to talk about numerology, and December, Michelle Levy is going to tell us how to use the labyrinth in healing. So that's our through the 2020. It's going to bring us to January, and we'll talk more about what's happening in 2021. I really want to introduce Brook Packard. And I'd like to, I was starting to tell people about what in the world you do. Brook started Sleepytime Club, and to give families a nurturing bedtime routine in 20 minutes or less. And these are kits that allow caregivers to connect, release the day, and reclaim their evenings. She's an early childhood music specialist, appeared in regional and off-Broadway theater, and written books for Morehouse. And with that, I really want to get to what Brook is bringing to us. Evening, and I invite everybody to put on speaker view. I think that will be very helpful so we can see Brook by herself.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm gonna ask for everyone's patience as I deal with the sharing screen thing. So so please. All right. Hold on. We're all learning new skills. Am I right?
It's all good. And everyone can mute themselves.
Now, can everyone see this little screen here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, except for Wendy. I know you can't, but you'll get this on the rebound. So we're just looking. What? Okay. So this is just a title screen. Everyone's looking about the power and fun of Instagram authenticity. And this is what we'll be learning. Housekeeping. I don't think we need to do that tonight. Who am I? Where are you when it comes to Instagram? What's your resistance? Why Instagram? A little bit of a Q&A breakout. Then we're going to explore Instagram together. So Wendy, just, take notes of the hashtags you may want to search for on your own, because, I want to get rid of that whole like, you've got to do this for your business, or we're just going to eliminate that because that's nonsense. And then next steps and more Q&A. If our butts aren't killing us from Zoom, take a moment to stand up and stretch. I think we're all kind of zoomed out these days. I will not take it personally. Whenever you want to get up, get a glass of water. There's no, there's no test. There's no state secrets going on here. It's very easy. So I think you've all muted. Do you all know the raise hand option? I'm not that good at it. And then you can put questions in the chat, and I'll need to get that out. Whoops. And then also you can click and drag the little screen and to see this. So I think we're good with housekeeping. And this is who I am, part of who I am. And you can have my pre-COVID picture and my post-COVID, or my what I'm going through now. I'm an early childhood educator and music specialist. I'm a Gaia Women's Leadership Certified Life Coach. I am a proud member of the ADD Club. What that means is we are good at making systems in order to survive. And this is Sleepytime related. I solved my own chronic insomnia without pills or gadgets. I was a single mom for the first 5 years of my child's life. I've been a liturgist and band leader in churches and traveled with my husband to military bases around the world during his time being a chaplain to chaplains. And when I was 5, I would put on my mother's wedding dress to play piano and sing torch songs. My dream was to be a kindergarten teacher and a nightclub singer, and it happened. So we're good with that. And this is, because those pictures are old, I want to share with this little doodle, which is an example of what Instagram friendships can do. And sort of what's happening on Instagram with business and reaching out in community. I saw a friend of mine had this like super cool profile similar to this, and she said there's a friend of hers, and it's in the music theater community, very young people, and she will take I hate selfies, we can talk about that later. She will take a selfie, and she has an app, and she'll make it into a picture. And I think it was like $20, and she gave 15 of it to Black Lives Matter. So that's a trend you're seeing on Instagram now, as people are being of service and reaching out. So this is now my profile picture. I wish my teeth were that white. There we go. So we can put this in the chat, or there's not so many of us that we can't unmute. So the questions are, where are you when it comes to Instagram? On a scale of 1 to 5. No account, never visit. 2, I set up an account, but I don't use it at all. 3, I have a few pictures of my pets and relatives and occasionally post something spontaneously. 4, I understand the platform. I use it for research and connecting, but could use a few more skills. And 5, I use Instagram consistently, understand hashtags, reach out to influencers, but I feel I might be missing something. So you can put any observations in the chat if you want, or unmute yourself and add something about this.
I have an account, but I rarely visit. Let's see,
Okay.
I don't use it for I don't use it. Let me see, nothing, no pictures, or maybe a picture.
I didn't know you were on it, Kathy.
Yeah. I don't understand the platform, and I don't use it.
And Paula's a 3. Thank you, Paula. And Sandra's a 2. Okay, cool. And Katie's a 3 to a 4. And Beverly is a 4 and uses for her art business. That's pretty awesome. Art's wonderful out on Instagram. So let's go on. So here's the resistance part. Like, what do you think is holding you back? Where are you skeptical when it comes to Instagram? And what social media platforms are you most familiar with? And again, you can chat, or you can unmute yourself. I will tell you what was holding me back. I thought it was a young person's platform. I thought my house had to be immaculate. And while you're seeing a backdrop that's fairly tidy, it's really not how I live at all. I just thought you had to be young. And since I am reaching out to moms of young kids, I was just thought like, well, forget it. This is not my thing. So, great, Beverly. Yes, we'll talk about that, about identifying influencers. Thank you. I'm making a note. So just think about your resistance. You haven't gotten used to it. That makes sense. Yeah, the video Instagram stories is another thing. I'm lazy. Yeah, where's the time? Hi, Jenny. How much extra work is it? We'll talk about this later. I can do a week's worth of posts. That's 7 days of posts in half an hour every Sunday. And then sometimes I don't do it. Time. So it's a time thing. All right. I hear that a lot. What is most important for impact? Okay, great. Those are great questions and observations, and how to create community. And we can talk about that too. Yeah, the follow thing. Yeah, it takes a while to build it up. So you post for WHN, not much for me. All right, cool. So let's just take a little tour. So here's why Instagram. Why Instagram for business? Whoops, I'm getting ahead of ourselves. So 500 million people log in every day. Instagram is owned by Facebook, but at the moment, for me, it's a kinder, less contentious, less opinion-driven social media platform. And Jenny and Pam, for a moment, think about this and unmute yourselves and share. Instagram is a Libra. And I will, while you think about what you want to say about that, what the implications are, I learned that from the work of a woman named Vanessa Corazon, who has a whole moon site planner thing for businesses. She's done the signs of all the social media. Twitter, for example, is an Aries, which makes total sense. LinkedIn is a Capricorn, which also makes total sense and explains why I'm avoiding it. Would our resident astrologers like to unmute and say anything about Instagram being a Libra and what that might mean?
Well, my first reaction is Instagram is known for pictures, beautiful pictures. So we're responding visually things that we want to connect to on a pretty or a fashion or that kind of thing. And I'm also curious where Vanessa gets this data, if it's on the onset of the actual launch of the company or she's just kind of vibing. So that'll be interesting to pursue.
Yeah, you'd have to ask Vanessa, and it may be.
Oh, I may.
Good.
I
may be proprietary.
Yeah.
Katie, Facebook has different signs depending on what part of Facebook you're looking at. Groups are different than general Facebook. It's all over the place. So I do know Pinterest is a Pisces, and I've yet to dive in deep into Pinterest. And I don't know if Jenny wants to say anything. No? All right. Okay. Jenny, just pop in if you want to.
She's talking, but she's muted.
Oh, do you know how to unmute, Jenny?
I mean, Jenny, you just click the mic. There should be a microphone. I'm not sure what device you're on that has a slash through it. And
the host should be able to unmute her as well.
It looks dense. Okay, let me see if I can unmute her.
If you click on her picture, there's a little blue thing that comes up with 3 dots. And the
yeah, I don't see her picture. Maybe Kathy does. Sorry, we have too many people on, so I'm not seeing the pictures. Kathy, are you still there? Oh.
I was muted.
Jenny, you're unmuted. You can talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah, that made total sense to me that this would be a Libra platform. It's social, it's easy, it's light, it's inclusive, it gives everyone a voice, and it doesn't get too heavy. And that's Libra.
That's perfect. And that's kind of why I prefer it to Facebook, because it's just too many opinions and and Twitter is just the Wild West, man. It is just fisticuffs out there. So Instagram is ideal for building community. It's ideal for reaching out to influencers, and it's for your ideal clients to suss you out. No matter what we're doing now, people are going to check one of our social media platforms and just say, who's this person about? What do they have to say? So it's important, as we said in the description, to be present but not perfect. And I put Vanessa Corazon's searchable stuff in the chat. So It's a visual platform, but we're going to see later today how you can choose to use Instagram goes beyond what's visually provocative or beautiful. That was one of the things that kept me away, was like, forget it. I'm not going to learn how to use filters. I'm not going to learn, I just don't care. So it's a really good platform to build trust, provide value, and share your expertise. And these are essential for building a health and coaching or therapeutic practice. And as I said earlier, with that little doodle of me, it's also an opportunity to look at, to offer something and make a little bit of money and also give back. And we'll look at some stuff for that later. So Instagram's great for branding. So I have this picture of the purple cow because that's Seth Godin's famous book. And a brand is a set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that, taken together, account for consumers' decision to choose one product or service over another. So to me, branding, and it comes in threes. It's about having people know, like, and trust you. And it happens through your name, your face, and how you make people feel. Branding is your best authentic self, which includes your willingness to be vulnerable. And your brand instantly communicates to your dream client, team, and perfect influencer. The overarching theme of branding is to create trust. And the reason I'm going into this businessy part of it is because we are up against people with millions of dollars. The big dogs are just out there. There is no way. My brother does SEO, search engine optimization for corporations, and there is stuff out there that we will never compete with. All we've got is ourselves. So if you're, you don't have to post 7 times a week, a couple times a week, and just have fun. And that is your brand, and it's how people get to trust you. So the second thing is you can make connections and community. So meet new friends. So for instance, we'll look at her feed later. I have a friend from England, Sam Goodlet. Her feed is Sam Draws Things. And she is a very whimsical, beautiful artist. I can't buy her stuff because it's Etsy in the UK. But Sam and I have like a whole Instagram relationship. She's interviewing me Monday on this new podcast she's doing. She drew pictures for my books, out of friendship, all that kind of stuff. So that was awesome. Make new alliances. And there's other people I've met that way. Make new alliances. You can get together and tag each other and support each other. For instance, there's a woman I met named Rochella Morgan, and I think she's not Crafty Rochella, but we'll look at her feed. And she's a really gifted artist. She does really unique stuff. And over Instagram, I was doing a project with Kim West, the Sleep Lady, and she said, I really need an illustrator for this project. And I said, oh, you've got to check out Rochella. And she said, I'm in love with her. Her work is great. So we can help each other. All boats float with this kind of networking. You can learn new things. I'm learn stuff all the time, just sort of getting lost. I have to set a timer so I don't get totally lost. And you can reach out to influencers. And that is my strategy for when people are interviewing people in person again. So if I reach out to, say, Dr. Oz, big influencer, and his social media team, and I harangue him in a nice way, and they go to my site, they'll check me out, but they'll check out my Instagram feed and they'll go, oh my gosh, she's a real person. She's not constantly selling. She embodies her why. This is really important to her. She has a passion. So those are just some other things you can do with Instagram. And then it's really good for storytelling. And that brings in your October speaker, Julianne Ryan. She's going to help you fantastically with that. And I think honest storytelling is the quickest way to cut through cheesy marketing and share your values and how you can help. Your stories can be profound and spiritual. They can be a memory. They can be something going on with your family, funny, even mythic. Stories have been used for eons to simplify and make complex ideas stick. So if you're an astrologer, you can go deep into Greek myths, you know? If you're an energy healer, you can talk about quantum physics and also go into stories. And then I have kind of, this is not my best work, so forgive me. I did same picture and 2 different posts. So really forgive the writing. I said, there he goes again, interrupting my workday with those big brown eyes. Well, I guess there are more important things than work. Thank you, Howie. Where is the story? The story's in your post, Paula. That's what this example's about. And when you go on, you're gonna see. So anyway, well, I guess there are more important things than work. Thank you, Howie, for the reminder. You know, then you can have some fun with hashtags. Here's the same picture. Am I the only one who projects my own human deep thoughts onto my dog? Look at Howie's soulful eyes expressing a bit of alarm. Is Howie advising me to check on a gas leak or his water bowl, or warning me of the imminent threat of squirrels? Or does he want to share a good joke? Could be anything. So again, forgive my writing, not my best. So, and then here's one of 2 teddy bears. One of the things I try and do is be diverse and use silhouettes or animals or stuffed animals when I want to say something, just because we need to represent everybody. So here's just a simple one. Hugs can do a great amount of good, especially for children, you know? And that's just like, yay, you know, you just flipping through and you go, that makes me feel good. And then here's the same picture. Can you remember your first hug or the best hugger in the family? I mean, I can. If they were personal, I would write about my grandfather and all the smells that came with him and what that meant and how he visited me in the hospital when he broke into the hospital when I had my tonsils out at 3. So and what does that mean to me? You know, it might be a favorite uncle or aunt, someone who instinctively knew that it was more important to affirm their love with silent touch. That's why I love my work as a massage therapist, well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see how just one picture can be framed a whole bunch of different ways with storytelling. So Instagram is also a great place to share your expertise and be of service. Post with tips, add value to your current followers and friends, plus attract new fans. Now there's marketers who are saying, don't do this anymore. I don't have the brain space to go there yet. You know, all I want to do is just be there and have fun and make new friends and be present. So post with tips, add value. Sharing your expertise is another way to redirect potential clients to your website, secure a good reputation with influencers, and explore your business values and priorities.
Brooke,
Now, Q&A.
Oh.
So you can unmute, raise your hand, and Paula, the story's also in the post, but the story can be in the picture. There's, you can be a little tantalizing, you can be a little, you know, there's fun places to get free pictures or pictures in your life, and I hope we find some stories together on Instagram tonight. So are there any questions?
Yeah, I have it. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure. Yeah. Okay. You had just said marketers tell you not to add tips. Did I get that right?
You know, I just saw something like that today. When you get on Instagram, there's a couple of things that are going to happen. You're going to get approached by, they're going to put you in the algorithm and they're going to market to you. People, the big dogs with the money. And so if they know you're interested in marketing, you know, I just saw one today where a guy and it was great storytelling. He just had a little video holding up signs saying, don't do this, don't do that. But he was saying, don't be of service. But I'm ignoring that because I'm not there. I'm not there.
Well, I was going to say one of the most popular things on Instagram are food recipes and food preparation. And it's all about giving tips, and it's all about telling people how to prepare meals or where to go for things. So I don't know where that's coming from, frankly. Maybe if you list it 1, 2, 3 and you say, here's a tip, maybe that they've got an algorithm set up that does something, but I just don't think that's true.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's true either. And it's not why I'm there. I'm there I said, to have fun. And when I do reach out to a big influencer, they can see who I am, you know, without me being cheesy, you know. Any other questions? And oh, wait, I know one thing I want to say about marketing, because we're there for fun, but we are also kind of being present. We're branding ourselves. And Jenny had a really insightful thing to say about Mars going retrograde. And I wonder if you would share that with everyone.
Mars retrograde, it's good not to be pushy. It's good not to really, you know, be aggressive, because, and you're going to be happy to hear this, because it's actually not just bad, but somebody will call you out on it. So being aggressive during a Mars retrograde is the thing not to do. And remember that when you're marketing. Pull back, just, you know, be friends, as Brooke says, be light, be easy, and don't push too hard. Thank you.
Yeah, no, and be yourself, right? Because that's what, you know, you want people to trust you. That's awesome. So we're looking at that soon. You know, we need to prepare for that. Any other questions? Comments? Hopes, fears, dreams? All right. Hi, Carla. We didn't say hello earlier. So now we're going to explore Instagram together. All right. And this is where my limitation in terms of flipping screens. And here we are on Instagram. Can you all see it? Now, this is where unmute yourself if you're, this happened to pop up. This is my friend Sam from the UK. Look at her art. Isn't this beautiful? Whoops. Sorry about that. Didn't think that would happen. There we go. Just unplug things. So Sam, as I said, is an artist. We've never met. She's drawn pictures for me. That's Sam. She is authentically herself. And I love reading about her. I can't order her stuff. She works with, because she lives in England. So she does like color palettes and designs with knitting and stuff like that. So that's Sam. I'll show you my friend Rochella, who I connected with the Sleep Lady. And this is Rochella's, that's Rochella. This is her garden. This is some of her artwork. She takes found objects and makes things out of it. And that's just fun. It's just fun to have a friend who does that. Look at that tree with the cardboard from leftover cardboard. So I'm going to take you to Jessica Dorr, who breaks all those rules about pretty feeds. She started doing this lately, but up until recently, she has 48,000 followers. She's a tarot person. She's deep into psychology and the mythic part of tarot. But up until recently, her whole wall was just these cards, you know, just one card after another. And what she does with them is, let's pick strength because we're in Leo. She does microblogging. And personally, the best response I get is when I just do a picture and practice my blog posts and what I want to say. So here's strength. So I'll read it out. It goes, this is a short one. Sometimes she'll go on as long as she can. I've been tracking the major arcana back in time and find them in context, for example. Strength, which is called force in the classic tarot of Marseille, is a big theme in the Star Wars epic. When Obi-Wan Kenobi says, may the force be with you, it means may you stay human in a world that will try to make a machine at every turn. And she goes on. I love what she has to say, and I think so many other people do, because she's, you know, you know, it's not about what's pretty. And she also lets her social justice, I don't know if anyone saw this guy speak, I think it was in Syracuse, about the institutional racism of the city, but she is herself. She's not trying to please anyone. Because to me, that's a sure sign that, you know, you're really not being yourself. I'm going to choose Michael Lennox. He is an astrologer, and he has done this thing called red robe astrology. And every day he gets on and he does, you know, I think you have a minute for a video instead of just a static post. And he will give you the weather report for the day. And he's got the red robe, and you can see it's not thrilling, is it? But how many followers? He has 11,000 followers because he has something to say and something to share. And he has this silly red robe, and you won't be able to hear him, but you will see how authentic he is. See, he's himself. He's letting his eyes open. He's letting his wrinkles and his grays just go out there. It's not that perfect, you know, thing. So he's talking about the new moon tonight. So there's Michael Lennox. So if you have a hashtag, let's do some hashtag. Is everyone cool with this? Do you want to keep going, or let me see.
How can I ask a question? So if you didn't know Michael's name, for example, how would you find him? How would you, I don't know, log yourself into a category of people?
It's the magic of hashtags. So what I would do, you know, some of it's a science, some of it's intuitive. What the heck is his? I can't find his hashtags that he's using on this. What does that mean? Here we go. So he's not using all 30 hashtags. He's using red robe astrology, consciousness, moon, lunar, zodiac, blessed, astrology 101. So let's try, and then his own name, transits, enlightenments. So let's do, give me a hashtag of something you'd like to see what people are out there. You want to just see astrology? You want to see new moon or astrology? There's going to be a gazillion out there.
Yeah, that's
right. There's 5,900,000.
Yeah.
And then you go down and you can see, and there's an advantage to using, but that's another topic, big deal astrologies. Let's try new moon Leo. See what's out there. How about that, everyone? New moon Leo, there's only 2,300 posts. So here we go. So now I'm going to slowly scroll down and you shout out what looks really interesting to you, because then this is how people get to you. Does anyone see anything that hooks them? I can't see the chat, so you have to just unmute and go, I like that one. Nothing's hooking you.
I like the lion with the jewelry at the beginning.
Okay.
That one.
This lion.
Yep.
This lion?
Yep.
Okay. So this is Wisdom and Light in Miami, Florida. And she's written, or they've written a very long, it's a woman, I think. They've written a very long post about Mercury retrograde, partner concern, you know, it's very long post. So you would say like, oh, well, look, do I like this? You know, do I like it? Let's go to her page. She's 25,000 followers. And then she has a link to her site. And she also has a very well-planned feed. You see this whole every other thing? So you get this little grid here. So
What's a feed?
What?
What's a feed? I mean,
a feed is a feed is what you see in any social media. Well, not on Pinterest, but on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. It is all the pictures in one, one place. So this is Wisdom and Light's personal feed, right? So you can scroll down, and then if I go to the home page, this is, because these are people I follow. What the what? It's giving me something. Come on, go away. This is a general feed, right? Now look, can I just say this post by Jerry3354, I don't know how to get rid of this thing on the suggestions right now. That's a boring picture. I love Willa Goodfellow, but that's a boring picture. It's just not, so here's someone with a little video. So this is the general feed, right? And Instagram will fool around with the algorithms and do that. So hold on, I'm scrolling down at my notes. So I want to show you my friend, what?
Brooke, when you talk about the general feed, is it what's the word I want? Is there an algorithm that makes your general feed appropriate for you versus someone else's general feed has different pictures on it?
I'm sure. It's very different for each person. It's like the homepage on Facebook. Right. Same parent company, you'll see, they'll decide what's there and what isn't there, and it's not perfect, which is why there's ways to kind of bust that algorithm and band together and help each other and make that happen.
As soon as you start talking to other people on Instagram or Facebook, then they start to show up in your algorithm.
Right.
I mean, the Facebook algorithm is doing something really strange. Like, several people have complained to me that they're not seeing me anymore. And I'm not having that trouble on Instagram. Instagram seems to be more straightforward at the moment, whereas if you've talked to them or you're following, everyone that I'm following seems to show up on the feed. That's not happening on Facebook, though.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it. I don't, and if I could go, I could torment myself and do that. It's not my thing.
But the way you pull out of it, though, I mean, I've been experimenting with this, and I have a computer daughter. So, you comment, you make a comment. Like a friend of mine, an old friend from business school called me. She says, I can't see you. I said, well, let's comment a few times on our pictures. So I'll see her now because we went back and forth. And that's what Facebook goes by. Yeah.
And sometimes I'll tour around. I'll make a list of people to visit, and I'll visit them and say hello. But I'm totally off Facebook lately. I just want to say, this family here, we go to the Schoodic Peninsula in Maine every year, and I was using #Schoodic a couple years ago, and she started following me, and I've seen her have her kids, and I see them, we have friends in common, and so there's this fun stuff that can happen. So where was I going to go? Hold on. I want to show you my friend Jen. Jen Rizzuto Fitness. Now, I know Jen. She also has a personal account. She doesn't have a lot of followers, but she's getting a lot done. I know Jen from the music theater community. She sort of disappeared a couple of years ago, went to Maine, and came back as a certified fitness instructor, a lot thinner, and got married. And she's one of the funniest people I know, and she's also a great singer. But she has this separate account for her fitness. So every week she will give you, she's of service, she will give you a quick workout, and then she'll, and then she'll promote one of her community classes where 50% of the class donations will go to, something else. And she makes a little money and she gives it back. That's a trend that I see going on. She also does this really creative stuff, or was when she was starting out, like on Mother's Day, she did a bunch of penitential push-ups just saying, Mom, I'm so sorry about the time I lied and said I was going to the mall and I really went and had a drink. And so that she just has some fun, so that's another way to do it. I have another friend who's giving a concert today. So just, you can look up like look, let's use I'm going to do a no. Okay. I hate to do this, but here's 2 no's. I mean, just like, what's her name? Crazy, healthy, rich chick. Okay. She's a friend. I can't remember how she's a friend. And, I love that she's older and she's leaning into that. She's not falling into the perfection. She's got some, you know, she is herself, she is there. But let's look at this, you know, like she's got these drinks and she's giving them away. And the way she writes about it is, I have 3 samples of this drink to give away today. This helped me get through the demolition. Blood sugar is important. Now, I don't know, but if you know, it's when someone holds a product in my face, I'm like, you know, but if she had the same picture and just said, when I drink this, I can't tell you how I feel. You know, you just go into how you feel. Like, I feel confident. I want this for everyone. And guess what? I'm giving them away. You know, so that's, you know, it's all about your perspective and just breaking out of that ought. I'm going to also share Sean Buvala, who's a brilliant storyteller. I interviewed him a couple years ago about bedtime stories. He's written a book called Daddy Teller, which is all about giving dads, you know, like how important it is to tell stories to your kids, you know, get off the screen and tell stories. Mm-hmm. He's a gifted storyteller and he wants to get into corporate coaching. And look at his feed. Where are the stories? You know, like, oh, here's a locked door. Is there a story there? Bathroom lock, hashtag don't come in last year, you know? But there's a story he could tell about a locked door, right? That's one of those things where you could, you know, you could really do it either way. Here's him telling a story and he's just saying, I was here and I'm telling a story. This to me was crazy. I mean, some of this, like, what's that? What's that egg? Like, and look at this. Is there not a story in that picture? You know, that's like, I mean, that picture caught my attention. And then I'm like, oh, come on, Sean, tell the story of even make one up. So there's other ways to do it. So I don't know if we want to keep exploring. Are there hashtags you want to look at? Are there people you want to look at? Do you want to see what Kim Kardashian's feed is like? The most influence?
No.
Brooke,
well, if somebody else wants
Brooke,
to see
could you just,
I have a question.
I'm not really clear about the hashtag thing. Do you just...
Oh, you just muted yourself, Sandra.
Could you educate me about the hashtag thing? Like, do you just say hashtag whatever I want and put it wherever I want, or does it connect to something?
It's hashtags are sort of a sorting. They're not a sorting. They're a sorting mechanism. They're a way to get found, and then they're also a way to be funny. But that's another thing. We can talk about that later. So let's say I'm going back to Scudic, okay? Which we can't this year, and we're beside ourselves. So it's like, let's see what people are doing on the Scudic Peninsula. Oh, look at that. Who wouldn't want to be there, folks?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very special. So this is all just magical rock. It's all rocks. I love the rocks. Oh, look, here's some people hiking. And that's just a person. So there's not like, well, this looks like an event. Last chance to see, oh, look, they saw La Serva Padrona in Goldsboro Town Park. So it was an opera company. It's the Something Music Festival. So like, wow, I didn't know there was opera in Scudic, in Goldsboro. And then I go to their hashtags. They pick Down East, classical music, Down East Maine, concert series, hashtag 207 music, Pergolesi, the composer, Winter Harbor. That's where we go. Summertime in Maine, Mozart, blah, 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 blah. So let's say you want to, if you...
I understand now. Thank you.
Okay, cool. And you can use it for your business. You can use it for yourself. You can use it for your passions and all that kind of stuff. So any other questions? Any
Brooke,
fun?
I had a question, just on something different, but just in terms of the whole idea of authenticity, something that I've been struggling with Instagram with posting regularly is I like the idea of sometimes posting kind of like some of the stuff you have shown where it like alternates between maybe like a picture of something in nature or like a quote or something of myself or but I find that it's a lot of work to be taking all the pictures. And sometimes I really just want to share something of someone else's and give them credit. But is that, I'm always questioning, like, is that inauthentic then? And should I not be doing that? And then I find that I don't post that much because it becomes so much work for me to be getting all of these good shots that I end up posting less because of that. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about authenticity and sharing photos that aren't your own original photography.
Yeah. And again, we'll talk about this workshop I'll be offering. I'll go to my wall, if that's all right. I mean, not that I'm like I'm great, but so I'll just scroll back. I hate selfies. I try and do a selfie every 7th picture so that I'm there, because the first time someone looked at my account, they said, you're hiding behind who you are, right? And you do have to be present. So if I go back, I'll do this, I'll write what that means. My favorite summer herb, these cairns on the beach, took the risk and did. This was to support a friend of mine. This was a morning, not too much reaction. That's me. This is from Canva or Unsplash. And you don't have to give credit unless you want.
You don't?
No. I mean, I usually do because it's a way to meet new people. Like I'll look up the photographer and just sort of go, thanks to so-and-so. And so if they're on Instagram, thank you for this picture. This is an old picture of when I spent the night in the hospital. And so I alternate. This was, a hashtag day. This is a family. This is this freaking crazy vine that's growing in my house. Old family pictures. That's from Canva for the full moon. This was to support a friend of mine who's made a great book. So there's, Labyrinth. That's my Sputic missing. That's old. This was for a fasting day last week, and sometimes I'll just, people seem to love, it's really interesting. People love just the mini blogs, it gives me a chance to kind of work out my ideas. This I just spontaneously did today because I've got this insane squash vine that was in the compost and I transplanted it and now it's all over the garden. And I found this great person here. We'll go to her Mars Kitchen Garden, and she consults. So I tagged her, and now she's following me, and I'm following her. She builds these things, so it's Mars Kitchen Garden. If you guys, and she's in Westchester. She's in South Salem.
So, Brooke, when you say mini blog, that's when you're commenting on the picture as opposed to sometimes there seems to be just a picture with copy in it. So you obviously like postered up some sort of quote or something or pulled it from somewhere else. So there's a difference.
I use the word term, it's microblogging. So this may be, that's sort of long, but it's about what a crappy week I had last week.
What you mean by microblogging?
Yeah, you can use it to work out your thoughts about what you're thinking. And so instead of going full bore, I'm going to do a blog post on my blog, you can kind of test things out and see how that works. That's what Jessica Dorr does, the tarot person. She does micro blogging. I don't know
Pamela?
if she,
Oh, this is Beverly. Pamela, you post so much that what you could also do, I think, is like take your top line, your blog posts, and put them in Instagram, because ultimately Instagram will link back to your website and your profile. So, that's maybe another way to build traffic.
Well, I like the kind of spontaneous response thing. What startles me is the idea that I have to put a selfie in every now and then. That's like I am not the most photogenic person.
My selfies would be my branding shots that are professionally taken.
well, yeah, I mean, you can, I mean, I'm not, I mean, I don't know. I hate them, but I realized I really was hiding behind them. I was hiding behind other, like, I don't understand that.
That's a look I should come up with.
What?
That's a look, the tattooed eyelids. That's really intriguing.
Well, who is it? Accidental Icon. Do you know her? She's huge.
Yes, I know her. I follow her. I was
great. Following her, 744,000 followers.
Ooh.
And she's just, some reason she's got this fashion thing going on. She's a professor. And she is who she is, she just sort of lets it all hang out. And then there's a really angry older woman who I can't remember. I used to follow her. She was just like always screaming at the camera, but it's kind of her brand. So you don't have to have a wall filled with your own pictures.
No.
But you do have to be yourself. You could, pictures of my family get huge responses, like old vintage pictures from the 60s,
I got plenty of those.
Yeah. And that's sort of part of being who you are. So you don't have to be,
intriguing.
What?
It's intriguing, Brooke. I play with it more. I mean, honestly, I'm on Instagram once or twice a day. Basically see what the young people in my life have posted, because that's how they keep current. They don't like Facebook. They do Instagram. So it's interesting.
Like, here's the influencer of all influencers, right? Here's Kim Kardashian. It's here's her child. I cannot figure out how she feels about her children. But I go to her posts. They're just, like every picture of her kid is just kind of, she doesn't write about them as if she's really there. However, another influencer who is Mariska Hargitay. Whoops. Is she like the real Mariska Hargitay? I can't remember. Where is she? Oh, well. She's genuinely herself. She really has her passion. She's into, whatever she's into. Yeah, she's got her own Olivia Benson thing. I can't find her wall, but it could be the real Mariska Hargitay or whatever. But you'll find some people who are genuine. And it's worth kind of seeing what they're doing, like middle-aged Instagram or, whatever. So yeah, the young people are not so crazy about it. But so if some are not so crazy about Facebook, but it's a great way to, like I said, if someone, if I do reach out to, Dr. Oz or Dolly Parton, or they can go down here and go, okay, so this is what she looks like. She likes Maine, she likes guitar. That's her, they can see she likes to mend her clothes,
I see. They can see who you are.
Yeah,
I understand.
Right.
Okay.
And I just discovered this Whoop thing. So, so I would recommend, just going around, doing some hashtags, finding out what you like, and just respond.
So the icons, like there's the paper airplane and there's the heart, which obviously is, I like it. I like the image. And then there's a circle with, I don't know what that is actually, but how are the icons used when you're commenting?
The emojis?
Well, if I look at the top of your board here, I see a house. That's obviously home. There's a paper airplane that has a red button with 2 notices on it. And a heart.
At the top. Okay.
Yeah, those are how you comment, correct, on who you're looking at?
You comment directly on the picture. So I liked my friend Sam's post, but I didn't write a comment. So if I want to make a comment, I'll type in there and say, "You go, girl." You know.
Oh, so you actually comment. So the heart and stuff that's under their images is not, they don't see that?
No,
I don't understand.
Pamela, you click on that bubble thing if you want to make a comment. Yeah, right there.
Right.
And then the comment, see what she has, and then you can comment right there. But the only way to get there and do it is to click that bubble.
Right, but if you click the airplane or the heart, doesn't something happen?
The airplane tells me I have messages.
Oh.
Okay.
That's if you want a private message, right? Like a direct message.
Yeah, direct message, and it's only if you're mutually following someone, and then there's people who you don't follow who can send you message requests, and that's a whole other conversation. I'm not quite sure what this is. I've actually never fooled around with these icons.
Yeah, I asked because the studio that my daughter works at, I apparently clicked something in which I shared the image, and then the studio owner basically responded to me because I had shared what they were sharing, and I don't know how I did it, so that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's you can't really. So this heart just tells me who followed me. Thank you, Katie.
Right. That's me.
Following you back. Can't wait to see what you have to say. So that's So okay. Katie's got it together.
I'll continue to try to figure out what I did. Thank you.
Well, Pamela, it could very easily that you hit that airplane and then it might have given you options. You know, that's if you want to send it to somebody else. Yeah.
I want to say before I said, there's a couple of things that happen when you get on Instagram. I mean, it is a much kinder place than Facebook. You'll get marketed to, they'll look at your hashtags, they know everything about us. They're listening in right now. But the other weird thing that happens is you'll get a lot of middle-aged men who have pictures of themselves in military uniforms who ask to friend you.
What?
And, it's very weird. It's very weird, and just don't.
That happens on Facebook too.
Yeah. And so some of them are looking for scams and all that kind of stuff. And some of them are just like ridiculous, like one guy said he was Robert Redford, and he spelled the name wrong, So we'll just, I think we're good.
Brooke, I did have a question. Like when you knew the names of the influencers, so you typed them in, but what happens when you don't know the name of the influencers? Do you have any suggestions on how you can find them?
Well, what kind of influencers are you looking for, Beverly?
For my art, it would be collectors or writers, like magazine writers, or publishers, or there's a whole lot, and I never know.
And you're located in Westchester?
Yeah.
So I would start local. Let's try Westchester art Westchester Artists, Westchester Arts, Westchester Artists, Westchester Arts Council. The other thing is, do you know Arts Westchester? See here, and you can go down, and then you kind of go down a rabbit hole, and you go like, well, who has stuff that's, look at that rabbit, isn't that gorgeous? Right? So art of the day, art for sale. The other thing is, I would see if Arts Westchester has an Instagram feed, and they do, and they're great. And see what they're, like what's appealing, what's like, oh, look, let's look at this picture. So they take assignments. Oh, look, you can submit your art to them and they'll feature it. And then they'll have all these artists, right? And you just go down this rabbit hole, and the best way I think to handle it personally is you set a timer. Like, I am not spending more than 30 minutes on this. And maybe I'll listen to a podcast or an audiobook at the same time, so I feel like I'm accomplishing something, right?
Yeah.
So, you can do, let's see, art collectors, publishers. And then once you've populated your wall, then that's when you reach out to them. Oh my gosh, art collectors is 1,954,000 posts. Holy. But once then you like, okay, who's this guy? I don't know. It's Toddy Pond Designs. You start a relationship with them. You just say, where are you showing? I'm showing here. That kind of thing. You just start the dialogue. But again, it's good to limit it. So I'm gonna go now. Okay, so I think can everyone see this screen?
Mhm.
So we asked where you were before, we've explored, and now we're asking like, where you are now. I think we're getting a good sense of that. Does anyone want to add to that? Are we good?
I just have one final question, Brooke. I'm curious how long you have been on Instagram, and how often you suggest posting if you want to like actively increase your audience and do it for business.
I've been on Instagram, I would say I've been on it 5 years, but I've only been focusing on it in a kind of fun, playful way in less than 2 years.
Okay, cool.
And reaching out to people. And again, it's not the number of followers. Like, I have a business account because I have this other thing that needs, and I would recommend not to get a business account. There was a certain instrument I wanted to explore, and you had to have a business account to use it and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm just there having fun. At some point, I'll ratchet it up and figure out how to market and make a campaign and all that kind of stuff. But I just hang out and have fun, and I don't spend that much time on it. And I probably should, to reach out to people and talk to them and all that kind of stuff.
So why do you recommend not having the business account? Does it get more complicated? Because someone just told me they thought I should have one.
Well, you can always switch between, you can flip it on and off if you want. It doesn't get as much traction because once Instagram identifies you as having a business account, then they want you to pay them money to promote your posts. So I had a post that posted me hugging my guitar, the video. Yeah. They said, this is doing 95% better than your other posts. Do you want to promote it? And it's like, no, I'm not selling anything yet. I'm just there. I'm just having some fun. And I mean, because the other thing I like about Instagram is it's kind of like a journal. You can kind of just keep, this is what I do. This is what's on my mind. This is a book I read, and this was an insight and aha from the book.
Yeah, I have a business account on Facebook, and the whole interface is different, and it's really awful. And every day they send me messages. It's horrible.
Yeah, I know. It's like, you didn't promote this post. We want your money, you know?
Yeah. 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 No, well, it's good to thank you. That was like a very valuable piece of information because I started to do that and then they started asking me so many questions. I never finished it. But if it's going to be now that Facebook owns Instagram, it's going to be like the Facebook business, which, okay. You
Yeah,
just
and
say
we've got to make plan. Yeah, we have to plan. I mean, for how we're going to connect if this all breaks down. That's the other thing. You know, that's a reality too. But in the meantime, I've, you know, got my friends around the world, and I'm happy to know them and share ideas with them.
What do you mean when you say if it all breaks down? What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, the power grid isn't necessarily that reliable. Censorship is a reality. You know, we don't know what's next. That's the whole thing of this virus. It's, you know, it's kind of a mass pilgrimage as we figure out how we want to be on the other side, you know.
So, Brooke,
I don't want to be doom and gloom, but, you know.
So Brooke,
yeah.
Carla and Sandra had to leave, and it sounds like they were very interested in more information.
Oh, okay. Well, we're recording this. I'm going to go. I'll wind up. I realize we've gone on so long. I thank you for your patience, everyone. So what's next? This is what I'm bad at. So I'm offering a 2-hour workshop for Westchester Holistic Network for $40, only 5 people, so we all can spend some time with each other. And what we'll do is set up or streamline and improve your Instagram profile. We'll demystify hashtags and actually have fun with them. Introduce and set up 2 free web-based tools that make creating images and planning posts so easy you can do a week's worth in 45 minutes or less. So you can combine the spontaneous with the plan, right? Strategies to build networks and friendships that also boost your presence. Like there's a way to really support each other. It's really pretty cool. And then I would give 4 weeks worth of posting prompts, which include hashtag holidays for that month. So let's say we're starting with September, there'll be hashtag holidays, there'll be themes, and you can use them for posting prompts or not. They get more eyes on your posts if you follow the hashtag holidays. So that's my pitch. And if you have any questions, just that's my email, brooke@sleepytimeclub.com. And that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Beautiful.
I'll stop the share. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. That was really great. I hope you just right now, you can go around and fool around on Instagram. You know, just like look for fun stuff, comment, and you can even get a system going. And when I was doing this, it was very effective. Like I would make a list of people for the week, and I had a system where it was like day 1, I would like, day 2, like, comment, like a post, like a different post, like and comment on a 3rd post. Then the 3rd day, I would follow, right? So it doesn't look, it's like taking someone on a date. You know, you don't go, let's get married, you know, you kind of like ease into it. So I'm happy to share that. Although I'm not doing it now, it's gotten really good results. And it's also just, again, building networks.
Very nice, very nice.
Beautiful.
All right, thank you, and thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Pamela.
Wonderful seeing you.
You're welcome, Wendy. And thank you for Brooke. It was brilliant. Thank you so much. We have your
Thank you, Brooke.
email. And
Thank you very much.
And I think, Brooke, what I'll do is I will send you Sandra Eagle and Carla's email addresses because they didn't get the information on the courses that you're teaching. So thank you
Great,
very much.
thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And hopefully we'll see you in September. Mwah. Good night.
Have a great night.
Rest
Thanks
up,
again,
everyone.
Brooke.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.